Hello and welcome to the winter edition of Hadron Collider. It's getting a bit cold, that's where the jumpers are starting to come in. I'd like to talk to you today about a concept that you would have heard in metaphysics very often, which is following your heart or following your mind. And when you're faced with a difficult decision, what should you do? Should you follow your heart or should you follow your mind, and how metaphysics see this? Whenever you have a difficult situation, you are quite often asked to think about it and to use your brain. And to not just follow your heart and find yourself in difficulties, but really think it through and analyse the benefits, the cost analysis, the cost to return ratio, pros and cons on each side of the paper. And this advice is given regularly. I just want to take this time out to maybe look at that advice about using your brain to come up with solutions to problems versus using your heart. We'll start with what the mind is and what the brain is. The brain is, or the mind, or your ego, is generally a collection of stories that you've been told as a child, books that you've read, education that you've been given, and other sources that have really sort of taken you where you are now, your life experiences, good and bad. Whereas your heart is your feeling, your gut intuitive feeling. Now, the mind can be easily manipulated. In fact, people are manipulated daily through mass media and perspectives and through different sources. The mind is always in flux. You may think Santa Claus is real one day and then think Santa Claus is fake the next. So the mind is constantly fluid and changing. So I don't consider it a great source of dealing with the real big problems. The heart, however, is really independent. No matter what you tell someone, if it's not in their heart, if you tell someone to love someone, they just can't do it. Because the heart is very independent. And the heart, when you're connected with your emotions in your heart, is your true source. Your source being your authentic Tao or way trying to take you where you need to be. We often don't listen to it, and quite often this is because we confuse what our heart is telling us with what our mind is telling us. There's a big difference when, for example, you feel like you'd love to live on a beach and give up on life, and you say, well, that's what my heart's telling me. Quite often that's not what your heart's telling you. Your brain is telling you that, and it's creating emotion which is driving you to do that. So I think that's where the confusion comes in, where people say, don't follow your heart, it's very dangerous, follow your mind. What I would suggest is that when given a quiet time, look at the heart and the answers the heart gives, and then look at the answers the mind gives, and then compare those two answers. And I would suggest that the answer that's the most authentic you is from the heart. The answer that's the most authentic conglomeration of culture, your parents, the people around you, is probably from your brain. And then make a decision. Do you want to please the people around you? Use the decision from the mind. Or do you want to please your authentic source? Use the decision from the heart. This should make your decision-making process a lot easier, and it doesn't matter which one you choose as long as you're clear on the difference between the decision of the mind and the decision of the heart. And in Western culture, we're starting to really put the heart over to the side and say, don't listen to it, listen to your logical mind. And I'm starting to believe that's really bad advice. I'll leave it up to you. The next big decision you have to make in your life, not a pros and cons list, but a heart and mind list. Thank you. And the Hadron Collider will see you next time on YouTube.
Yeah.